All right, crazies, let's talk about demand. And we'll start off with demand with the demand curve. And looking at the demand curve, you got to draw a line going down here and then over here. You got P, 0, and Q. And remember, P equals price, Q equals quantity. Then you have the demand curve sloping down and to the right, and that's why it's labeled D. And then I put up here as a kind of a reminder, remember the law of demand? Price goes up, quantity demanded goes down, price goes down, quantity demanded goes up. You start at 0 and you work your way up to maybe, whatever, 10, 30, 40. And again here, it depends upon the units, but this is typically the behavior of a consumer. So with the demand curve and this going here, the biggest relationship is going to be with P. So that leads us to a change in quantity demanded. Now remember, this is the symbol for change, so a change in quantity demanded is caused by one thing, price. And that's when you have movement on the curve. That's this, not movement of the curve. So again, you got P, 0, Q, and D for the demand curve, and here. And if you were to go here, you started off here, and then you ended up here. That's a movement on the curve. Well, what affected that? That right there. That's price. That's called a change in quantity demanded. What's it caused by? Price. It's a movement on the curve. On the curve. Remember that. Now again, let's look for reasons for the demand curve sloping down and to the right. You have the law of demand, the relationship between price and quantity. And then you also have income effect. It deals with the price of goods and how much money you make. It deals with what you can buy, whether it be generic or brand name products. And then substitution effect. Can what you're buying, is there a substitute, an affordable substitute for it? Flip-flops and leather shoes, blue jeans, brand name versus other non-popular brand name jeans, and the prices there. And then this one here has to deal with input. What is the diminishing margin of utilities is basically each unit of input lessens the desire for whatever it is. Think of food. That first taco you eat tastes so good, and you're willing to buy another taco. But that second taco never tastes as good as that first taco. Then if you add another unit input, then you got a third taco. And that third taco doesn't taste as good as the second or the first. So diminishing marginal utility, each unit of input diminishes the usefulness of that next unit. Alrighty, and then when you talk about the demand curve, the shifting of the curve, again you have a shift here to the negative, which is to the left, and a shift of the positive, which is to the right. That's always how it's going to be. A positive demand curve will shift to the right, and a negative. Remember, we go from D1 to D2, D1 to D2. In class, I said D0 to D1 or D0 to D1, but I just did it on the computer, D1 to D2 or D1 to D2.